The Ant and the Grasshopper. Once upon a time, there was a hard-working ant named Alice and a carefree grasshopper named Freddie. Alice spent her days gathering food and storing it away for the winter, while Freddie hopped about singing and playing. Freddie asked one day,
"Why are you working so hard, Alice? The sun is shining, and the food is plentiful. Come and play with me."
Freddie,
Alice replied.
winter is coming, and there won't be any food to be found. I'm making sure I have enough to survive.
Freddie just laughed.
"Don't worry about winter. There will always be plenty of food."
As the days turned into weeks, the weather grew colder and colder. The food became scarce, and Freddie began to starve. He went to Alice's home and asked for food.
"I'm sorry, Freddie."
Alice said.
I told you to prepare for winter.
Freddie felt ashamed of his laziness. He promised to learn from his mistake and help Alice gather food for the future. From that day on, Freddie worked just as hard as Alice, and they both had enough food to survive the winter.
The moral of the story is, hard work and preparation are essential for success and overcoming challenges. The Lion and the Mouse, a fable about friendship and gratitude. Once upon a time, in a big green forest, there lived a mighty lion. One day, as the lion was napping under a big shady tree, a tiny mouse scurried over his paw. The lion woke up with a start. He was so surprised to see such a small creature on him. Before he could swat the mouse away, the mouse squeaked.
"Oh, great lion, please don't eat me. I'm so small and harmless. I promise to help you if you ever need it."
The lion thought the mouse's plea was funny. He was so big and powerful, how could a tiny mouse possibly help him? But he was also a fair king, so he decided to let the mouse go. A few weeks later, the lion was caught in a hunter's net. He struggled and roared, but the net was too strong. He thought he was doomed. The mouse had seen the lion trapped and knew just what to do. The mouse scurried up the net and nibbled at the ropes. After some time, the ropes were finally chewed through, and the lion was free. The lion was so grateful to the mouse for saving his life. From that day on, he never forgot the lesson. Even the smallest creatures can be of great help.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Twinkle was the smallest star in the galaxy, but her heart was as big as the universe itself. Twinkle loved to watch over the earth, a beautiful blue marble that spun beneath her. She especially enjoyed watching the children with their bright eyes and laughter. One night, while Twinkle was gazing down at a little girl named Lily, she noticed that Lily looked sad. Twinkle felt a pang of sadness in her own heart. She wanted to help Lily feel better. So Twinkle decided to send Lily a special gift. She gathered a handful of stardust, the shimmering dust that made up the stars, and sprinkled it gently onto Lily's windowsill. Lily smiled and knew that Twinkle had sent her a special message. She was dreaming about Twinkle all the night. From that day on, whenever Lily felt sad, she would look up at the stars and remember Twinkle's gift. And every night, Twinkle would watch over Lily, sending her love and light.
The Hare and the Tortoise. Once upon a time, there was a very fast hare named Harry. He was so proud of his speed that he would boast about it to all the other animals. One day, a slow tortoise named Tommy heard Harry bragging and challenged him to a race. The day of the race arrived, and all the animals gathered to watch. Harry, feeling confident, started running as fast as he could. Meanwhile, Tommy was slowly but steadily making his way towards the finish line. He didn't stop or rest. Harry was so far ahead that he decided to take a nap under a tree. When Harry woke up, he realized he had slept too long and quickly started running again. But it was too late. Tommy had already crossed the finish line. The animals were amazed. No one had ever thought that a slow tortoise could beat a fast hare. Harry learned a valuable lesson that day. It's not always about being fast, it's about being consistent and persistent.
The Thirsty Crow. Once upon a time, it was a hot sunny day, and there was a very thirsty crow. The sun was shining brightly, and there wasn't a single drop of water to be found anywhere. The crow flew from place to place, searching high and low for a drink. Finally, he spotted a tall pitcher. The crow's heart filled with hope as he flew closer. He peered into the pitcher, but the water level was too low for him to reach. He tried to dip his beak in, but it was just out of his grasp. The crow felt very discouraged. He was so thirsty, and it seemed like there was no way for him to get a drink. Just as he was about to give up, an idea popped into his head. He started picking up small pebbles one by one and dropping them into the pitcher. As he added more and more pebbles, the water level rose higher and higher. Soon, the water was within reach of his beak. The crow dipped his beak into the water and took a long, refreshing drink. The moral of the story is, never give up. With a little patience and creativity, you can overcome any challenge.
The Fox and the Crow. Once upon a time, in a big green forest, there lived a clever fox named Foxy and a proud crow named Caw. One day, Caw perched on a branch with a big, juicy piece of cheese in its beak. Foxy saw the cheese and wanted it for himself. Foxy said to Caw,
"Caw, you are the most beautiful bird in the forest. Your feathers are so shiny and black."
Caw was very pleased with himself. Foxy continued,
"I bet you can sing the most beautiful song of any bird. If you can, I'll give you a present."
Caw was so excited to show off her singing that she opened her beak to sing. As soon as Caw opened her beak, the cheese fell to the ground. Foxy quickly snatched it up and ran away. Caw was sad. The moral of the story is that it's important to be careful and not to be fooled by flattery.
The Ugly Duckling. Once upon a time, there was a mother duck who laid a clutch of eggs. All of the eggs hatched into beautiful ducklings, except for one. This duckling was big and clumsy, and he had a long, ugly neck. The mother duck was surprised to see him. The other ducklings made fun of him and called him names. All the ducklings play together and have fun together, except him. The ugly duckling was very sad and lonely. He didn't know where he belonged. One day, he decided to run away from home. He swam across a lake and found a group of wild ducks. The wild ducks were not as mean to the ugly duckling as the other ducklings were. They accepted him for who he was. As the years went by, the ugly duckling grew into a beautiful swan. He had a long, graceful neck and a beautiful body. He was no longer ugly. He was one of the most beautiful swans in the pond. All of his friends praises him for his beauty. The ugly duckling had finally found his place in the world. He was no longer a misfit. He was a beautiful swan. The moral of the story is that it's okay to be different. Everyone is unique.
The Three Little Pigs. Once upon a time, there were 3 little pigs who lived with their mother. One day, their mother told them it was time to build their own homes. The first pig was lazy and built his house of straw. It was quick and easy, but it wasn't very strong. The second pig was a bit more diligent and built his house of sticks. It was stronger than the straw house, still not very sturdy. The third pig was the smartest of the 3. He built his house of bricks. It took longer, but it was very strong and safe. Soon a big bad wolf came along. He tried to blow down the pigs' houses. The wolf huffed and puffed. He easily blew down the straw house. He also blew down the stick house. The wolf huffed and puffed again, puffed and puffed. But he couldn't blow down the brick house. The wolf gave up and went away, and the 3 little pigs lived happily ever after in their strong and safe brick house. Moral of the story is that it's important to work hard and be smart.
The Lazy Donkey. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a lazy donkey named Pluto. Pluto loved to eat and sleep, but he hated to work. One day, Pluto's farmer asked him to carry a load of hay to the market. Pluto groaned and complained, but he knew he had to do it. On the way to the market, Pluto stopped and pretended to be sick. He lay down on the ground and groaned loudly. The farmer was worried about Pluto, but he didn't know what to do. He decided to leave Pluto by the side of the road and continue on to the market. As soon as the farmer left, Pluto jumped up and ran away. He was so happy to be free from his work. Pluto played and danced all day, but by the end of the day, he was hungry and tired. He realized that he had made a big mistake. Pluto decided to go back to the farm and apologize to his farmer. He promised to work hard from now on. The farmer was happy to see Pluto back. He forgave him and gave him a big, juicy carrot as a reward. The morale of the story is that laziness can lead to problems. It's important to work hard and be responsible. Once upon a time, in a distant land, there lived 2 brothers named Ali Baba and Qasim. They were very different from each other. Ali Baba was kind and generous, while Qasim was greedy and selfish. One day, as Ali Baba finished cutting logs, he saw lots of men on horses moving towards a hidden cave, and he hid. One of the men said, "Open sesame," and a door in the rock opened and the man entered the cave. The others followed. After a while, they came out and the leader said, "Close, sesame." When the thieves left, Ali Baba walked to the entrance of the cave. He said the magic words and entered. He was amazed by all the gold, silk, jewels, and gold crowns piled up. Ali Baba decided to take some gold home for himself and his family. When he got home, he showed the gold to his wife. His wife wanted to know how much gold they had. She went to Qasim's house to borrow his wife's scales so she could weigh the gold. She did not want Qasim and his wife to know about the gold, so she said they were weighing meat. Qasim's wife did not believe Ali Baba's wife. She tricked Ali Baba's wife by putting honey in the bottom of one of the pans. When Ali Baba's wife returned the scales the next day, a gold coin was stuck to the honey. Qasim's wife knew their secret. When she told Qasim about his brother's gold, he was jealous.
He went to Ali Baba's house and asked his brother where he got it. When Ali Baba saw the gold coin, he told his brother about the cave and the 40 thieves. The next morning, Qasim went to the cave. He got inside by saying the password, but he forgot the magic words to get back out. The thieves found him inside and killed him. The leader of the thieves made a plan to kill the man who had stolen from them. He bought camels and large clay oil jars with loose lids. He loaded the camels with 2 jars each and filled 1 jar with oil. He then went to Ali Baba's house, pretending to be an oil merchant. The leader told the men to take their swords and daggers and to hide inside the jars. He gave them orders to be ready to jump out and attack the man who stole from them. Ali Baba's wife discovered his plan and killed all men by pouring boiling oil on them. When the leader came to find why his men were not ready to fight, he saw they were all dead and he ran away. Ali Baba and his wife were safe. They lived happily ever after, using the treasure to help the poor and needy in their village. The moral of the story is that greed and selfishness can lead to trouble, while kindness and generosity can be rewarded.